But really, it was in a very joking scenario. He was not comparing his life to a Vietnam vet. It was ha, 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 and this and that. But when journalists took it and made it serious, I thought it was a little bit unfair. And in some ways, I felt it was unfair to Trump. Because, for example, they were fond of quoting that Donald Trump had said something to the effect that STDs were his personal Vietnam. He said that, though. Donald Trump would come on my show, and this is why he was great. There was no filter. I go, Donald, Angelina Jolie, she's one of the most beautiful actresses in the world. She's a 6.
Remember when Trump and Howard Stern were besties sharing locker room talk? Well, that friendship just exploded faster than Trump's Twitter feed after losing an election.
During the campaign and even now, people quote these interviews that I did with him. Big time. I was quite surprised when they dragged out every single Donald Trump interview I had done.
Guests ever.
Donald Trump, hands down, whenever you put him on the air, now this is before he was running for president, he was an open book. He would say anything. And, oddly enough,
Stern just went on live TV and replayed Trump's creepy comments about Melania from years ago. And let me tell you, Grumpy Trumpy is fuming. The Orange Man can't handle being reminded of his own words, especially when they make him look like a total sleazeball. Remember when Trump was Howard Stern's favorite guest? Well, that friendship just crashed harder than Trump's Atlantic City casinos. For years, these two egomaniacs fed off each other like parasites at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Now they're throwing verbal grenades at each other.
And all of a sudden, people are laughing.
Yeah. He's like, there's sometimes you have a host where a sketch bombs, but they love it. And they say, let's do it. It's so great. That's not him.
No, he wants to win.
Yeah, it's just how it went.
In terms of either you're for Trump or against Trump. Now, with you being so forcefully, your comedy is brutal.
And honestly, it's pretty entertaining. Back in the day, Trump was practically a regular on Stern's radio show. From 1997 through the early 2000s, he'd strut into that studio like he owned the place. And Stern absolutely loved it. Why? Because Trump would say literally anything for attention. No filter, no shame, just pure, unfiltered Donald doing what he does best. Talking about himself and rating women like they were contestants in one of his pageants.
Ivanka Trump.
You know who's one of the great beauties of the world, according to everybody, and I helped create her? Who? Ivanka. Most
beautiful girl in the world. I would marry her. These types of things, most people, certainly politicians, don't say. Well, now who says that? Most people, if they're having that thought, keep that pretty guarded. Not Donald. He was right into it.
Well, no question about it. Do you feel that in some way you helped make him president?
Absolutely. Because Donald would come on my show. I mean, look.
Does it make you feel bad or good?
Well, look, I did not vote for Donald Trump.
And oh boy, did Trump rate women. On Stern's show, he'd break out his famous 1 to 10 scale for any female celebrity who came up in conversation. The most cringeworthy moment? When he gave his own daughter Ivanka a perfect 10 score. Yikes. That's the kind of comment that makes you want to take a shower after hearing it.
I wanted to see Hillary Clinton win. And I thought if she had come on the show, the way I helped Donald was I let him come on and be a personality. Whether you liked him or not, people related to him as a human being. I go into great lengths in this book, and I think people will be interested in this. Hillary Clinton, like in Moby Dick, I was chasing her. She was my obsession. I wanted to do that for Hillary. The big knock against Hillary, especially with some of the male audience, was, we don't like her.
And you could feel that on the air.
I absolutely could feel it on the air.
And all during that time, you do write about this. You're trying to get Hillary Clinton on your show.
But the grossness didn't stop there. Trump once told Stern that avoiding sexually transmitted diseases was his personal Vietnam. Yes, you heard that right. While thousands of Americans were fighting and dying in an actual war, Trump was comparing his dating life to combat. It's the kind of comment that should have ended any normal person's public career. But for Trump, it was just Tuesday. Stern ate it all up. He later admitted Trump was one of the best guests he ever had. And why wouldn't he be? Trump would say anything, if it meant getting attention. It was a match made in shock jock heaven. Two New York guys with massive egos, zero boundaries, and a shared hobby of objectifying women. For years, this weird bromance worked perfectly. Trump got publicity, Stern got ratings, and listeners got hours of jaw-dropping content. Nobody really thought much about the political implications because, let's be real, nobody expected Trump to run for president. Those tapes were just gathering dust in the archives until 2016 hit. That's when everything changed. As Trump's campaign gained steam, all those hours of recordings suddenly became political dynamite. Comments that were just locker room talk a decade earlier now sounded like confessions from a man who wanted to lead the free world. And for Stern, a decision loomed: support his old radio buddy or take a stand. Stern chose the latter. In a move that absolutely stunned Trump, Stern endorsed Hillary Clinton in 2016. For a guy who values loyalty above all else, this was the ultimate betrayal. It was like finding out your best friend had been secretly dating your ex. Unforgivable in Trump's book. Trump's reaction was exactly what you'd expect. He immediately labeled Stern as woke, the ultimate insult in Trump's vocabulary, and claimed the radio host's ratings had tanked without his star power. Classic Trump move. If someone criticizes you, attack their success. It's like his political version of, I'm rubber, you're glue. The friendship that had lasted for years evaporated overnight. Stern went from praising Trump as an entertaining guest to criticizing his presidency as a disaster. And Trump? Well, he did what he always does. He pretended he never cared about Stern in the first place. Fast forward to now, and Stern knows exactly which buttons to push. In his recent TV appearance, he deliberately highlighted Trump's most objectifying remarks about Melania, knowing full well how it would trigger Trump's rage. This wasn't just random criticism. It was a calculated strike from someone who spent years studying Trump's ego. Trump predictably exploded, calling Stern weak and claiming he dropped him like a dog. That's Trump's favorite insult template: negative adjective, plus like a dog. It's his go-to phrase when he feels betrayed, and Stern definitely qualified for the doghouse. Nobody understands Trump's inflated ego better than Howard Stern. After years of enabling Trump to ramble on about his conquests and celebrity ratings, Stern now has the perfect ammunition to get under the orange man's skin. And boy, is it working. What's most telling is Melania's deafening silence throughout this mess. While Trump throws another tantrum about Stern's betrayal, Melania's avoiding the spotlight completely. She's clearly uncomfortable with her husband's resurfaced comments being played on repeat across national media. That frozen smile can only hide so much. The best part? Trump's meltdown is backfiring spectacularly. Every angry tweet or insult he hurls at Stern just makes people more curious about those old radio interviews. Ironically, his family values campaign messaging is crumbling as voters realize what he really thinks about women, including his own wife. Grumpy Trumpy should know by now that the more he protests, the deeper people will dig.